In this video, I want to share with you essentially the two ways that you can get your estate agency website to appear on Google and Bing during 2023. So what I've just done is I've just done a Google search for estate agent near me. Okay, I'm currently in West Brom at the moment, so south of Birmingham. And what you'll see here are ads at the very top. The first thing that the consumer sees are ads. Okay, these are what are called paid per-click advertising. The second thing that people see is obviously the Google Map, which is great. Obviously, a lot of pull for that. There's only a couple of spaces, but there's more demand than there is spaces. So the common question is, how do we get onto Google Maps? Well, it's part of the map pack, which is SEO or search engine optimization. And when we've got the optimized website, so this is the free traffic. The challenge here is it's time. It takes many months and many weeks and possibly many years to get your website to appear for the certain phrases, like I've just typed in a estate agent near me, for instance, but there are thousands of millions of other searches that obviously people use, like houses for sale near me, flats near me, all that sort of thing. The search volume in the search bar is billions a day, but let's stay focused on this. Basically, the challenge with SEO or the optimizing of your pages, it takes time. Okay, you need lots of things going on in the background, and you might not see the results for many months. Typically 6 to 12 months, depending on how active you are and that sort of thing, or the agency that you're working with is doing that for you. And obviously, it's all about time. The thing about the ads is, so the first thing the consumer sees are ads. So there's 4 spaces at the top of Google. Is the speed. Literally, you can create an ad this morning now at 10:30. Okay, and be up like here competing with the big boys, literally by tomorrow. Okay, at the latest. Now, obviously, there's getting the ad there seen is one challenge. That's one thing. You've got to then win the click, because until you get the click, you don't pay for it. So it's what they call pay-per-click advertising. This is why we love pay-per-click advertising, boys and girls. You only pay for the click. Okay, if someone doesn't click on your ad, you don't pay for it. Okay. Now, I'm going to bring you back to the presentation, because obviously there's a little bit of a thought about it. So the first thing that you'll see is the ads. So I'm going to basically bring you up now. So first thing is ads. So ad 1, ad 2, ad 3, ad 4. Now, the first position is not always the best position. Our experience is that the majority, and obviously balancing the cost per click, so how much you're willing to spend. Obviously, this is where you need a budget. So you typically, for these types of ads, we tend to deal with agencies that have got a budget of about £200 plus a month, £200 a month. If you've got less than that, then there's other ways, such as the display network and YouTube, which obviously, again, is another conversation. But I wanted to stay focused on why Google, why PPC advertising, with all the platforms that we've got available at the moment. It's because Google versus Facebook, TikTok, even YouTube to the point, and all the other platforms that we've got to be confused with and sort of overwhelmed with, is it's intense. Okay. The only reason why people go to Google is because they've got a problem or they're looking for something. They're not going to social media to look for something. They're looking to engage, to connect with friends or family, or stalk family members, and that sort of thing. You know who you are. Yes, you. Okay. As a parent myself, I want to make sure that our kids are safe and all that sort of stuff. So we do a bit of stalking, ethically, of course. So another little benefit here, boys and girls, is that we can control what the consumer sees. Okay, so running PPC or Google Ads, you can control what the consumer sees. You can control where that click goes to. You can control whether you put a telephone number on the ad or not. You can control how big your ads are. So here, for instance, the top ad, Purple Bricks, have got what they call ad assets, which is basically where they're driving people to other pages of their website, which is another indication of it increases what Google basically rank your ads, and not to get into it now, but they call it an ad score. So they'll rank your ad out of 1 to 10, 10 being the best, 1 being 0, not very good. You're going to pay over the price and that sort of stuff. But the great thing is you dictate how much you spend, how much you're willing to spend, and that comes back to knowing the math of the consumer. So how much is an exchange worth to you? So a couple of pros here. So obviously it's very fast. We only pay for the click, not the impression, okay, which is a big thing to look for. You're targeting people who are actively looking. So somebody could be Googling, house valuations, what's my house worth, that type of thing. and you can show them an ad straight away. You control also the postcodes that your ads show on, and also how much and where you want to spend. So we can, you can turn these ads on and off very, very quickly. So if you've got any questions about this, boys and girls, I thought I'd just do this as the start of the year sort of thing, really. But it's a common, even though, what we do is on the, it's pretty blatant, but lots of people don't know what pay-per-click advertising is. It's these ads here that appear at the very top of Google, and they're very, very quick and very, very effective to do. So there's a couple of pros. Obviously, the cons are it does cost a bit of money, or investment, so to say, because this is where we've got to sort of look at and become the investor in your business, and not just a we're there yet type of thing. This will take time, and it can take time. It can take hours, but this is our process. So this is our cold to sold process. So someone does a Google search. This is what you got to look for. You bid anything from a penny right through to many a pound, depending on. You can put 50 pence bid on Google and see where you show. If you do not show, then you got to look at the metrics and go, right, we might need to increase it, but to a pound. And your bid will basically you're putting your name in the auction space, basically. It is a competitive sector, so obviously we've got to bear in mind that there are averagely across the UK around about 25 businesses trying to vie for 4 spaces. Now, it doesn't mean that the biggest spenders win. Again, reflecting back to what I just mentioned about AdScore, AdScore is a ranking of other factors which I won't go into on this video. If you'd like to know about it, then drop a comment in below, and I'll do a video about AdScore. AdScore is basically essentially a ranking factor of how good your ads are versus what the customer's looking for. So if we win this click in this auction, so if we clicked on one of those ads, we'd have to pay Google. What you pay again can go from a penny right through to you can put a maximum bid of 50 pence or a pound, or maybe £2 if you're feeling brave. Doesn't mean that you want to spend £2 or 50 pence per click. It means that's what we call essentially a maximum click. So some clicks will cost you less, some clicks will cost you the exact amount. But over a period of time, in that month, it will not spend more than what you've been budgeted for. So if we get the click, we then drive them through to a landing page that solves a problem. So if someone's Googling 3-bedroom flats and you're sending people to 2-bedroom houses, it's a message to market mix mismatch. I'm trying to work out the words there. So it's going to be an AdScore quality problem, which means that you spend more money than you should have done. So if you send them through to 3-bedroom flat pages, that's answering the question that the person's got. So therefore, it's going to be a really low cost per click and also high AdScore quality, basically. So what happens is basically if someone puts their name and email address in, so looking for a viewing or looking for a valuation, that system then that should kick off an internal call or a text message and that sort of thing. That goes into your CRM. So then that becomes a lead to follow up with, and obviously then we just nurture the relationship on upwards. So yeah, that's essentially a couple of pros about Google Ads, and that's how you obviously the similar sort of format. Obviously, you don't pay for the clicking in the SEO or search engine optimization. It's just here. It's very, very quick. Here is very, very. It can. Okay. There's always there's always someone out there that can do it within a couple of hours, but typically many months to get your website, depending on where you are now, whether you're a cold start, whether you're a well-established brand, been established for many years and that sort of thing. Depends on the collateral that you got on your website. You might not have touched your website in many months. You might be going into it and optimizing blogs, which obviously then is part of the process in getting your website ranked here. So, ask any questions about it, boys and girls. I'm here as a bit of an open book. But if you've got any questions, then please do ask away. Take care. All the best.